Aquarius, welcome on in. I hope this reading finds you well. It is a special unrushed reading, so we're going to be here for a while. We're just going to be flowing off the clock with spirit. And so, yeah, might want to get cozy, comfortable. Maybe get some chores done, run some errands, commute, fall asleep, listen to this, whatever floats your boat. Because we're going to dive deep into this eclipse season in September and October. And we're going to do 5-card spreads for the last 3 months of the year. We're going to look at the astrology too. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for clear messages for my fellow Aquarians. Let me say I usually like to start with music, but for some reason I couldn't get it to... My computer was just kind of spazzing out on me, and I decided to roll with it anyway. And we'll see when it finally pops on. It's thinking real long and hard about it, but it's a 2013, so it's like, yeah, she's seen better days, but we'll be patient, and I think it'll be interesting to see when the music finally comes on. Might have some special meaning. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you, Spirit, for clear messages for Aquarius. Also, let me mention that if I'm talking too slow, then click on the top right corner of the video. Click on that that gear icon. And then from there, click on the playback speed and put it at 125. And that should have me talking a little bit snappier, okay? All right, that said, I think we've got our space cleared, and I am feeling more centered off of that. So let's start with an oracle card, and I just want to get a basic general energy check on September, because that's, that's when we're going to get our first eclipse of the second half of this year. And it is hitting our second house. So money, money, money. And I already started off talking about it, right? When I've got, an old computer I wish I could replace. But as the saying goes, from when we were growing up, money doesn't grow on trees, especially not in this damn economy. I think y'all are feeling it. I know I am. I've been feeling it for quite a while. But hopefully this is some ending completion to constraints, challenges that you had in your second house. Of course, look at your rising sign, your moon, but particularly your rising. That's going to be the most accurate, aside from getting a private reading. Right, because I would look at my rising, which is Taurus, but I think actually when you look at my exact natal chart, it would come up under the Gemini reading, because I'm a late degree Taurus. So only a private reading is the most accurate. But I'm pretty sure as Aquarius Sun, this is going to have some nuggets of wisdom. As always, we have to remember it's very general, okay? Take what applies, discard what doesn't. And although technically right now Saturn is not in my second house, I resonate with that energy, which most applies to Aquarius rising, all right? So, yes, that lunar energy on September 17th, the lunar eclipse, it is a major completion, culmination of something having to do with probably something very, very faith-based, something that you have put your faith into, something that you believed in. We're talking about Pisces energy, which is where the nodes are shifting to over the next year and a half, and that's going to start. I mean, we're already starting to get the eclipses in Pisces and Virgo, but it will definitely be shifted January 12th of next year and will remain in those nodes, in that axis, until July 26th of 2026. So it's about a year and a half, right? Starting in January, but we're already getting into this. So we're going to see collectively a lot of people dealing with, well, let's say coming from this focus on self versus other, which has been the last year and a half with the nodes in Aries and Libra, to, the practicalities, the mundane, to the spirit realm when we're talking about Virgo and Pisces. And yeah, we might see some shadow energies come up. And with Pisces and that lunar energy, maybe issues of escapism, addiction, mental illness. Both of those signs have a lot to do with service and healing. And I just think collectively, in general, we are going to be, all of us, needing to clean up our mental and physical health over the next year and a half, and we're already getting started on it. So for Aquarius in September, I think the challenge here is, alongside this eclipse, which is a holy shift, it's a energy that will emanate for the following 6 months in Pisces. Well, alongside that, you've got Saturn and Neptune, so it's heavy. And it might have to do with sobering up on some pie-in-the-sky thinking, wishful thinking, idealism, being brought down to earth, and in the second house about your values, possibly about your personal income. And this is as the sun is in that opposing house of money, other people's money, 8th house. And so at the time of this eclipse, September 17th, you could be really feeling like there's a spotlight on what's going on with other people's money, shared resources. Debt, taxes could very much be on your radar, and you're looking at where's my money in the second house, and you've got some kind of constriction there with Saturn, and you're not clear, maybe even why you're dealing with these blockages or limitations or challenges. And people could be getting pissed off at you. Let me say this, because Black Moon Lilith is there in that 8th house as well. So people, relationships that you have, particularly when we're looking at family, spouse's income, the government, credit, collections, people like that could be getting pissed off at you. And you're like, hey, I'm trying, but I got Satan in my second house, and I don't know how to get out of this. So there's a lot of pushback from other people, and you're definitely looking at it. You're definitely thinking about, you're probably trying to talk about it. Might be even making some phone calls, talking to people who are, doing collections. If you're behind on some bills, or you've had some things come up and you can't, or maybe you're trying to renegotiate debt. However it is, there's a highlight on money and resources, yours versus others, and it's like something over the next 6 months is getting eclipsed out of your life in that second house. And the pushback that you're getting from other people could be a thorn in your side. You know, you can't make people hire you, right? I mean, you can go look for the job, but you can't make people hire you. You can start a business, but you can't make people buy your products and services. I mean, it is what it is. How do you deal? And that for some of you might be a conundrum, right? Let's say you're retired. I know some Aquarians who are retired. You can't just go out there and get a job. So how are you going to deal with that fixed income? And you're not a young buck anymore. It's going to take some doing. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, absolutely. And so not an easy energy. And let me say also, gosh, I could say so much about the energy at the time of this eclipse. Let's see, let me see if we can get an energy check. All right, hope. Yeah, some of you do need hope, and maybe your hope is in wisdom, which is applying the truth and knowledge to everyday life, everyday living. If I was to look at your chart and say, well, where's the hope in this chart, right? I'm going to look back at Neptune, but, you know, I'm seeing there that, you know, some of you with that, the way Neptune is placed, not far from this eclipse and Saturn, it's almost like you're having to sober up about what can you realistically put your faith and hope into. We're all looking for a silver bullet, but does that even exist? Is that even the point? Some of us have been so behavior modified that we think that if we are not having an easy time in life, if we're not in abundance, fill in the blank, you know, we're not being rewarded in this life. There's challenges. We think we're failing. We're doing something wrong when maybe there's nothing wrong at all with you. You did the right thing. It's the system is failing. But I would definitely say if there was any kind of Saturn Neptune energy, that would be it, because this is the practicalities of spiritual knowledge and truth. How do you practically apply that in everyday life? I feel that's your way out. Again, if I were to look at where's your way out here, if anywhere in this chart, and I'm looking at Jupiter, you know, the Jupiter's in your 5th house in Gemini. So some of you, you will be blessed. You will be able to get expansion over the next 6 months through family, children, specifically. If you have any children, you could maybe get some expansion and blessing through them. Creative projects, particularly if it's intellectual property. I'm writing right now. I put out earlier this year with Jupiter and Gemini in my 1st house, I put out an ebook and an e-course on my YouTube channel. Now it's right on my damn south node, so it didn't get too far, but maybe in time it'll pay off, especially if I convert it to an audiobook. But these kind of ideas where you use your downtime or you work within the limitation to do what you can, you try to maximize it as much as possible. Intellectual property is really strong here, particularly if you were to write about something having to do with creativity, project management, maybe romance, fun, dating, that kind of part of your life, children. By the way, I'm just starting a little project on writing a memoir for myself to pass down to my descendants. So this is how that Jupiter and Gemini in the 5th house is playing out for me. And I don't really know that I'm ever going to mass sell it, or that anybody would read it, or, you know, care to buy it. But it's something that I'm planning on passing down to my descendants, so that they know what my life was like and the life lessons I learned and how I learned them, these little nuggets of wisdom. And it's something that gets passed down in the family, so that we don't keep, as a family, generationally relearning the same, you know what I'm saying, coming up against the same patterns. And let me say, I know this is me doing a bit of personal sharing, but in some way it relates back to you, because with Pluto coming back into Aquarius on November 19th, which at the time of this eclipse in September, on the September 17th, lunar eclipse in Pisces, it will still be 29 degrees Capricorn, okay? But it will come back into Aquarius, our sign, November 19th of this year, where it will remain solidly until March 8th of 2043. That is a long time, a long transit. It is basically saying, Aquarius, you're a change agent. Do people always like change? No. Some of them fight it, and I am absolutely seeing that you know, you're probably getting your fill of that about right now, particularly those of you who are like me and are Chiron and Aries babies, Gen X, born 1969 to 1976. And we're now going through our Chiron return. Not a picnic, okay? But regardless of when you were born, the way that Chiron is in the chart is showing me that other people are getting unhappy with you, speaking your truth, saying what you gotta say. And this could just be, you know, even people far off. People not necessarily, I mean, it could be people in your neighborhood, neighbors, siblings, but it could also be people, like if you are publishing anything, reaching a long distance audience, or getting into some kind of legalities or travel or whatever, because it's hitting the 3rd and the 9th house, people are pushing back on you. Let me see if I can shuffle while I'm talking to see if anything random comes out. Now, let's go down here. So there's an issue also with your communications and your beliefs, what we are saying to people, what we believe, the way that we are challenging people verbally in terms of what we believe and what they believe. We're change agents. And it is raising some pressure. It's bringing some pressure to people that they don't like. They want to stay in their little cozy zone. They want to be, you know, comfortable with their own little delusions of reality. And you know what? We're not here for that. We are here to be change agents. I'm hearing the Book of Esther, for such a time as this. You were born for such a time as this. Whether you want to call it Age of Aquarius or not, because I know some people like to debate on whether or not this is Age of Aquarius. We are at a very pivotal point in time astrologically for Aquarians. And if people are telling you to shut up, why'd you say that? People trying to muzzle you, censor you on social media, suppress you, blacklist you. I mean, hell, I've dealt with that myself, y'all know, and it definitely has constricted my second house. Y'all know this. The thing is how do you stay in your power? How? Because, you know, like I told Libra in their reading, you have to use your voice. You're going to have to find your voice. And there's a lot of people who want to silence and muzzle truth tellers. Aquarius in its highest expression is a truth teller. And with Pluto and Aquarius, you're here to speak the truth that transforms people. But we're so early into this transit that, you know, this awakening that's happening collectively, a lot of people do not want to be awakened. A lot of people are fighting it tooth and nail. And I'm sorry to say that a lot of people would rather self-destruct than live in reality and the truth. But there's no escaping it. There's no escaping it with Saturn in Pisces and going into Aries next. Pluto in Aquarius. You're not going to evade it. You're not. And by the way, Saturn in Aries, which happens next year, is like each person is going to have to give account for themselves. Individual. That's correction upon how you use your individual liberty, freedom, how you assert yourself. Who are you? Are you self-aware? Are you in alignment with your authenticity? Because if you're not, you're about to get schooled. All right, we got a jumper. Yeah, I mean, some of you, and this is at the foundation. I mean, you know, Two of Swords, and even the one underneath it, it's like, oh gosh, look at, I mean, listen, I just go on and on with this crap, okay? These three cards right here are telling me shut down. Actually, this one came out first. This is telling me I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to open up to it. I'm just going to wait over here. I'm going to wait over here. We're going to maybe go hide, go be a recluse. I just want to spend time with spirit. I don't want to be out mixing with the animals, you know? And boom. This is that Saturnian energy. It's in Pisces right now, but it's going into Aries, right? Boom. And what's going boom? Relationships. Why? Because people are starting to have wake-up calls about this matrix, about their conditioning, about the control system that we are living in, this behavior modification to be a cog in the machine, be a rat on the wheel, doing things the world tells you to do rather than what spirit is leading you to do. But some of you are not completely open. There's a lot of people out there in this world right now that are going to shut down and isolate. Some of you are living in isolation because of the loneliness epidemic. I'm hearing it's a matter of survival. But there's going to be a major wake-up call in a lot of these relationships, particularly the toxicity in relationships, the dysfunction. And I don't know why I'm going super dark and deep with this. Like, some of the people that you love, they're tied into this beast system. They're agents in servitude to the beast system. I might have lost some of y'all. I might have gone way, you know. And yeah, with the South Node in Libra in the 9th house, this could be a loss of relationships that you have been witnessing, or you realize you have a falling out with people because there's a misalignment. What's the misalignment? Some people want to stay in the beast system. They like the matrix. They do not want to get unplugged. So what we have is a split going on in society. The people who are unplugging and the people who are staying plugged in. The people who want to wake up versus the people who want to stay asleep and deal with reality. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to go back to Saturn, Neptune in your 2nd house with this lunar eclipse on the 17th of September. The highest expression of that energy is, I'm going to deal with reality. I'm going to look at the ugly truth, as dark and shocking as it is. And if I'm out of alignment in my relationships, I'm going to let it fall out, right? Because this is major arcana. This is spirit saying this ain't right for you. We're eclipsing this out of your life. That's the higher octave of that energy, is wisdom, that I become a lot more based in what I put my faith in and belief in. And it becomes wisdom. But the lower octave of this is maybe some hopium. And if any of you are looking for hopium or living for hopium, you're going to get your ass handed to you with Saturn there. I'm sorry, I do not mean to be rude, but Saturn is not one to care about your feelings, right? That's Saturn. And definitely not next to that damn tower. That is a rude awakening. That is karma coming in and slapping you sober. Saying, oh, isn't that cute? You thought you were going to build that over there with that person? Oh, no. No. Well, God help me. I got to say something that gives you hope. I mean, legitimate, because I know a lot of you are looking for hope. I can't lie, though. This is not the cupcakes and rainbows channel. You know that? And I know that hope is in short supply these days. And some of us have been in this battle for too long. We are exhausted. We need to be replenished. So I hope I get some hope for you in this reading. What else I want to say about this September 17th eclipse? Some of you really need to nurture your own mental health and well-being, spiritual well-being. I do see some pushback, though, going on with what you're doing on your day-to-day life. Maybe it could be work-related. Some of you working on, at a job, or working on things in the home, protecting and nurturing the home. But in the realm of health and healing and self-care, I do feel that you probably need to look at the contrast going on between your daily life habits, routines, that sixth house, and your very private life. Okay, maybe even work and versus sleep. Okay, and really, I'm getting a lot of need to nurture and protect, and I'm getting a lot about security issues, emotional and financial security issues, and this is maybe bringing up some pushback in you nurturing yourself emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. I'm also seeing that Uranus remains in our fourth house, where it has been for years now. But thank God it's at the 27 degrees. So, but it's very slow moving. So I don't think it's coming out. Yeah, it's not coming. It's going to stay there all through next year. So, no, it goes into Gemini for 4 months in July of 2025. So, might get a bit of a relief out of the fourth house. I'm actually looking forward to that, and the reason why is because that transit has made it very difficult for us to stabilize and put down roots on the home front. And it's I mean, I've moved so much that I messed up my back. My back has been damaged from all the moving for the last 2 years. Every day, chronic back pain. I still can't figure out what it is, but the point is, it's a lot. And some of you have moved, but not nearly as much as I have, right? Birth charts are unique, but the point is, even if you haven't moved during this time with that kind of energy, it makes you feel like you're not grounded, like you're not able to really put down roots. It may make you feel restless in terms of, home, family, sense of belonging. So we've got that through the end of the year, and hopefully we'll have a bit of a break, a 4-month break next year. And anything else? I think that's all I want to say about the astrology of September. And so let's get into talking about October, where we have yet another eclipse on the 2nd of October. I'll put this over here so we may reflect back on it later. On October 2nd, with that eclipse, it is happening in our 9th house. It is a solar eclipse, so this will be a new beginning over the next 6 months that will be unfolding in our 9th house. And so that's positive. That might, for you, involve publishing. It might involve long-distance travel. It may also involve higher learning and maybe expanding upon what you can put your hope and belief in. It's a 9th house is like very much a spiritual house, having to do with wisdom, hope, gurus, things like that. So perhaps over the next 6 months, you really start getting some kind of spotlight in your life shone down on this area of what you do believe in. And if you're wanting to travel long distance, perhaps you start building the way for that. Now, in that, also in the month of October, you will experience Jupiter going retrograde in Gemini in your 5th house. So this could have some of you thinking back about the future. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said the future. Thinking back about your children, or your dating life, or creative projects. In Gemini, again, maybe you are, well, it's retrograde, so you may hit some delays in terms of getting expansion. Like, let's say in September you were working on some intellectual property, but then in October on the 9th, when Jupiter goes retrograde, you realize I got to go back to the drawing board and do some editing or something like that, okay? Or I need to rethink this project, or I need to reconsider, maybe go back and have some talks again with your kids about some stuff and say, now, what did you mean by that? Because you're hitting some kind of delay in getting expansion in that 5th house area of your life. For some of you, it's your dating life. And you're thinking back, okay, well, either why are things not moving forward with my love life, my romantic life, or, you know, I'm just not having enough fun in life. You start reconsidering, because Gemini is a lot of mental energy and communication energy as well. And then on the 11th, Pluto is going to go direct in Capricorn in our 12th house, very spiritual house. But with it having been retrograde, we've been going through a lot of internalized pressure and change. Reconsidering maybe how we relate to authority, and has there been some kind of programming, conditioning? I'm going back to that devil card that came up. Is there some subconscious programming in your relationship with authority that is causing you to self-sabotage, or causing you to become prey to abuse or misuse of authority? But then when it goes direct on the 11th, well, that pressure then maybe starts feeling a bit externalized. And I say a bit because it's in the 12th house. So again, there may be something hidden or suppressed with this energy, even so, with it going direct. Then on the 13th, Mercury is going to go into Scorpio in our 10th house. And so this could really have you thinking about some deep stuff. Again, maybe other people's money, secrets, power dynamics, intimacy, particularly having to do with your public life. I'm getting a lot of, actually with that energy, I'm getting a lot of spidey senses, a lot of intuitive, maybe tapping more into your intuition when it has to do with your career, your legacy, generational wealth issues, status, but most definitely your public life, okay? And you start getting really into some spidey senses during that time. And I'm seeing that this might have to do with, you know, what you're working on and you're trying to manifest in your life. Some of you, I'm getting deep, going like deep, because I don't know, 10th house sometimes it's got this Capricornian veneer type of, the surface looks really polished and nice, but with that Mercury in Scorpio, it's like, no, we're going to dive deep. We're going to go beneath the surface of things. I'm getting for some of you, if you are, again, with these money houses getting lit up in September with that eclipse, and you've been having some challenges between, you know, your income versus other people's income, however it is, you start diving much deeper. You start digging beneath the surface of things, of what's going on with my career. What kind of legacy do I want to leave? Some of you, like in September, the month prior, if you have started shedding certain values, like, you know what, I thought I wanted that, or I valued that, or hey, you know, Saturn is right on this, so with Neptune. So maybe I valued this before, but given the reality of the situation, that the way I'm going after this is not going to work, or this is no longer viable, given this new reality that I'm now living in, this upside down world that sometimes we feel like we're in, where nothing seems to add up right, you know, like, okay, given that, what do I do now? You get beneath the surface, you start thinking beyond the surface of things, right? I just personal sharing. I thought to myself, if I never in my life make any money off of my God-given gifts and talents, like I'm saying a livable income, I'm not asking to be Bill Gates or anything like that, right? But if this matrix is actually set up to discourage people from doing their God-given gifts and talents, and it's just a big spiritual battle, and I can't, you know, like that's the reality that we're living in. What do I do? How do I survive in this 3D? You know, if my 5D gifts are not paying my bills. And so it could be that if you're having some similar thoughts for yourself, around the 13th and onward, you begin getting more into the nitty gritty of things, and figuring out how are you going to revitalize, how are you going to transform this legacy, right? Like for me, back to, you know, Jupiter in Gemini in the 5th house, you know, I may not die with a bunch of money in my bank account, but by God, I'm gonna leave this place better than I found it. And my descendants, I'm gonna leave them with little nuggets of wisdom, with my gift to write, you know, and put out intellectual property. And I'm going to basically, God willing, give them a cheat sheet, is what that's going to come out to be, so that your life is not as hard. You don't have to learn like I did the hard way. I'm going to put it in a little book. So again, we're finding a way to leave a legacy despite the adversity, despite this matrix. Finally, there's going to be a full moon in Aries in our 3rd house on the 17th of October, and that could bring some completion, ending, culmination, having to do with a way that we communicate, or something going on in our locale, something having to do with neighbors, siblings, or something that we've been taking on learning. Maybe you're finishing up learning something, or something changes in the way you communicate. Maybe boundaries. Leo might be relevant. You might be getting more confident about how you're communicating yourself, because you let go of certain beliefs or pain points with Chiron in that 3rd house. And you say, you know what, I'm speaking my truth, whether you like it or not. Or you know what, maybe you deboosted me, maybe you shadow banned me, but as long as I have a voice in me, as long as I have blood running through my veins, I'm going to speak the truth. This is what you're giving people as well, and what's being given to you. Some of you are going to be more careful about, more boundaried, I should say, in what, and in the give and take in your relationships materially, probably because a month prior you've been dealing with that, right, lunar eclipse hitting your 2nd and 8th houses. Okay, so I see more boundaries, more restraint with money issues. That just flipped. Okay, there will be slow and steady progress with your money, however, and it might have to do with a Taurus, and it could be also Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn with this card, but it might also be beliefs about Yeah, I'm getting that. Okay. You might be letting go of there's some kind of shedding, some personal belief about the way that you have to communicate yourself, or the way that you have to, you're thinking on, um, how you get material progress in this life. Something is shifting with your thinking, your beliefs, the way you communicate about that stuff. Wow, I'm getting a lot here. Venus is going to go in Sagittarius in your 11th house too. So if you do want to attract love, you will probably be able to find it in social groups, maybe online, social networking, dating websites, if you want to, in the month of October. And also say, like, the month prior in September, Venus will be in your 9th house. It's going from 9th to 11th. Like, it's almost out of your 9th at that lunar eclipse on September 17th. By the full moon in Aries on October 17th, it'll be in the 11th, faster moving than some of these other planets, right? But anyway, the point is, during that time frame of September through October, it's possible that, you know, earlier on you could maybe meet people learning something, maybe far off, you know, in another country maybe even, or somebody who's foreign from you or very different from you in September. As it moves into the 10th house in early October, perhaps in the workplace, or some kind of high status environment like a country club or a wine store or a yachting club, or something high profile, statusy. But then by mid October and onward, it would be like maybe online dating websites. I do see that some of you are trying to resist being betrayed. Okay, some of you are really trying to protect yourself from having your heart broken again. Some of you have become very defensive or protective against disloyalty from people. Like, if you sense that they're not going to prioritize you, you're pulling back. And that might also become something that is really getting shed with these eclipses. Is that you are starting to, like, look beyond the veil and get a clearer idea of, you know, who's really able to take you where you want to go in life, and who's not, or where people fit in your life. I mean, what is the best fit for people in your life? It's not that you necessarily don't let them into your heart, but for what reason? You know, being more selective and giving people access to your heart, and not getting into some kind of wishful thinking that people can be something that they're just, they can't, you know, or that they'll ever become something that they can't. And then on the 22nd, with the sun going into Scorpio in your 10th house, I just think it's more and more the spotlight on looking into more of a kind of a mature, I'm getting some kind of mature who can I share power with? Who can I share intimacy with in a way that is enduring, that in a way that is stable and secure? I just I see more of that kind of a spotlight being put on in your life. But let's look at what the cards have to say. there's the Magician again. So you're trying to manifest something in October. What is it? It could be a new home, a new job, something in the material realm, going after that coin, being resourceful. For some of you, you're just trying to stabilize your life. You're trying to, and it's hard with Uranus in that fourth house. Like I said, for the remainder of this year, you want something that you can get rooted in and really grow and thrive in. But it's this is an issue, and it's also in the relationships. How do I have a relationship where there's security and stability? Because right now with Uranus and Taurus, I mean, everybody is struggling with this issue. So in the past, it looks like you did have a lot of heavy burdens, and maybe you overextended yourself. You took on more than one person could bear or should ever have to bear. In the future, I do see there's some difficulty with this in reverse of getting cooperation yet again from people. Why? Because, you know, I'm blaming it on Taurus, Uranus and Taurus, okay, in our fourth house, and then who knows whose house it's showing up in, all these people that you're trying to collaborate with. And maybe they want to collaborate, but if they're not feeling secure and stable, and maybe they in fact are not, people can't get their coins together for one reason or another. The undercurrent, well, everybody wants the victory. This is a lot of me, what about me? I mean, it has more positive connotations, but this is wanting attention, wanting to be recognized, wanting to win something, and to have confidence. But is there a confidence issue? We'll find out. Outcome, there it is again, and it came out before, of you are just gonna be hammering away at it. And I get the feeling that the reason why that's the outcome is you know, in the flesh, just hammering is because what else can you do? I'm sorry, the only thing here is, well, major arcana. This is the only major arcana spirit stepping in. All of this is this 3D stuff of, I'm trying to stabilize, I need help, people aren't working with me, I really need and want the victory, but I guess I got to throw my back into this. And nobody's there to really help you hammer this out and produce these coins. Why? Do they even have any coins to add? Or they're so insecure within themselves, they're afraid. They're afraid to throw their coins in. Because everybody's afraid of exploitation right now. Everybody's afraid of being taken advantage of. Well, if they're not, they're the exception to the rule. That's unfortunately been going on. Okay, we got some jumpers. Yeah. So, wow. Oh, yeah. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Things are out of your control. This is major arcana. This is what's going in the world, on in the world at large. What's going on with the collective and humanity. And what's happening is unfair. People, let's not sugarcoat it. I mean, if they're not the victim of crime in their neighborhoods right now, which we're seeing all over the place, all over the United States, then they're victims of being robbed down at the grocery store, the gas station, with inflation, the cost of living crisis. So, you know, this is stuff that's out of your control. This is stuff that you're going to have to wait for things to turn around in divine timing. And yeah, it could be negative forces, absolutely. And the negative forces seem to be lying, cheating, thieving, sneaking around, lack of accountability, a lot of deception, a lot of dishonor that's happening, and it's not fair. And so this is the challenge. How do you stabilize something and make it secure when out in the world you got all this thievery going on, all these shenanigans? This is why I'm saying, you know what? Give yourself a break. Seriously. Drop something. Like all that middle class programming that we were brought up with, that we were supposed to feel ashamed if we were in need or if we couldn't pay a bill on time in full or blah, blah, blah. Drop it. Drop it. Because, and don't personalize it so much, Chiron and Aries, which I constantly have to remind myself of because it's in there. It's in my programming, right? It's in that 12th house, subconscious. I'm always thinking it's my fault. Maybe there's stuff going on that's out of your control. So, you know, cut yourself some slack. The heaviness in the past seems to be, some of you are dealing with something. I'm again it twice here. Alone. You're bearing a burden alone. And some of you absolutely dealing with loneliness, isolation. Some of you, maybe this was actually for divine plan and purpose, that you took some time to spend with spirit to get stronger in your core. But others of you, you had people who saw you bearing this burden and they ghosted you. They didn't want to get involved. They might have even given you the silent treatment. You might yourself have shut down as well. Maybe you didn't want to burden people with your problems, but you were silently suffering. We got to stop that. That's just a cultural problem that we've got to overcome collectively, in my opinion. Virgo might be relevant. Please tell me what this lack of cooperation is. All right, that wanted to flip and then it went back. We'll take it. Yeah, this is, oh my goodness. Wow. 2 aces in reverse. And I don't like them because what this is telling me is, number one, you're dealing with some kind of emotional blockage here. You're dealing with things are not. I'm getting emotionally stifled. Okay, that there's some kind of people not opening up, and that being emotionally stifled is stifling growth. It's stifling emotional and spiritual growth. Somebody might have actually lost some kind of opportunity for new love because of just people emotionally shut down and constipated, basically. Like there might have been an opportunity for new love or healing, but if and I think this is involving people you're associated with, okay? I don't know, well, watch it both ways, but if you are encountering some blockages with other people in the near future, It is because people are, they're emotionally cut off. They're emotionally shut down. Where's my, I don't know where that card is. Oh, there it is. How long is that going to last? I mean, that could be 3 years, all right? That Three of Pentacles. In the spring, I'm getting something about the spring. You might even experience it this week, okay? Another problem I'm having with this Ace of Swords in reverse is not telling the truth, okay? Or not wanting to see the truth. This could be disagreements. We can't come into agreement. People are making bad decisions. There's a lack of clarity. People have views that are distorted. Maybe not even giving proper attention to the right things. Someone feeling defeated leads them to kind of shut down emotionally and try to rethink what's going on here. There's lies possibly going on. And this is rough. Somebody could definitely be depressed over this because they're not getting truth. They're not getting agreement. And it might be because people are dealing with their own, with Saturn and Pisces. They're living in their own illusions, and they're fighting tooth and nail to keep the dream alive. And Saturn is just serving up karma. And I'm going to tell you, for some of these people, you need to get away from them. You need to get away. And this is how I'm getting, by the way. I mean, I kind of went off a little bit yesterday because it's probably, I'll blame it on my Chiron and Aries return. We saw it in these communication houses, but I went off. I'm like, well, here's another person, or here's another situation where I'm being silenced, muzzled, told to shut up, whatever, because people do not want to hear the truth. It's offensive. People love to be lied to. And Queen of Swords ain't gonna do it. Absolutely not. Not with Aquarius in my 10th house, on my sun and Mercury, midheaven. Queen of Swords ain't gonna lie to you, honey. You want me to participate in your delusion? You want me to affirm you? No. Oh, and now you want to get mad at me, and then you're going to go make some decisions that are super bad. And you're going to shut down because I'm not playing along with your fairy tale. Because I don't want to get caught up in the karma of that. Because I know there's a smackdown coming, right? Like, don't play around. This is not the time. Saturn in Pisces, don't play around. But these people don't want to listen. They want to follow a Pied Piper off the cliff. And you try to stand in their way and warn them, and they get angry at you for it. And so I got pissed off and about that, because I got too many stories of that happening in my life over the last year. And I got to a point where I'm like, well, I don't want to talk to any of these people anymore. If I get to a point where I realize that these people are not listening, they're wasting my time, they do not care about the truth, they are actively evading and avoiding the truth to their own demise, I'm out. I'm checked out, right? Because I want to have relationships with these people, but I do not want a front row seat to watching them self-destruct. And I'm not sitting around for that. I will exit the building. Queen of Swords knows how to do it. So let's see at the foundation. I mean, this might be ego. Ego on both ends. People self-concerned about their own security and stability for understandable reasons. People not wanting their bubble busted, so they just shut down. There we go with karma again and shutting down. So, yeah, I do see in October that everybody wants to win, all right? But nobody's cooperating. classic North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra. You've got some misalignments, you got relationships coming apart, that's going on collectively, but you at a personal level are feeling this. People are not cooperating. Ego is hinging all of this together. Everybody wants to win what they want to win. But guess what? Your choices and your decisions have consequences. Libra might be relevant, right? This is why I bring Libra up, South Node. That, you know, maybe these are bad choices. And I don't want to get involved with somebody who's making bad choices, refuse to listen to the truth and reason, because they just want what they want, ego, at the end of the day. And you don't want to be a part of that wild ride. You don't want to be a part of their karmic smackdown with Saturn, busting their bubble. Or maybe both of you are completely on track with spirit, but it's taking you in separate directions. But I'm inclined to say no, that for many of us, these are relationships that are parting ways, because you are dealing with a divide in humanity. You're dealing with a lot of these relationships. Some people are waking up and some people are choosing not to. They want to hit the snooze button. And, you know, and again, I'm getting more silent treatment here. And again, that might be actually the appropriate, judicious response. Is that, you know what, if we're making different decisions and plans for our future, we're going in different directions, right or wrong, right? I'm not judging who's right or wrong, but we're going in different directions. So maybe we need to take a time out. Maybe we need to rethink what the purpose and plan is for this relationship from this point forward. There's a lot of contemplation here going on. And there could be some passivity where people just feel, well, you know, I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to argue. You go your way, I'll go mine. And so again, I'm getting more silent treatment, energy occurring because people are making different decisions in life that are not in alignment. It's just more South Node Libra stuff as far as I can see, which unfortunately is putting you here where you're going to have to work on your coin alone. And boy, are you having to work on it, because, I mean, if there's any card about financial disarray, it's this in reverse, okay? This is about things being out of balance with finances. This is about instability, maybe causing an inability to make any financial commitments this point on, at least in the near future. How long is that going to be going on? Some of you are juggling too much, and I don't know that you necessarily overextended yourself. You may have. The problem is that you're bearing it alone. If you had someone to help you and cooperate and be a team player, then you could do it. But what I keep seeing here is you're alone. Many of you. How long is this going to go on? How long is this going to go on? I don't want to pull on that, because I'm going to tell you I'm getting like a 2 to 8 year time frame, and that's pretty grim, okay? Pretty grim. And I don't really want to speak that. I'm being honest though, okay? Some of you, your path to manifestation is probably going to be through a romantic partner if you can. Getting an understanding maybe also about idealism versus reality. What can you realistically manifest on your own? But if somebody comes and offers at some point, that's going to give you an ability to lay a foundation with these 2 ones, okay? Could be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces that could help you do that. But I am seeing a lot of trepidation around commitments in yourself and others, potentially. And so that's, you know, it's a reality that we're having to kind of deal with head on, that people are tiptoeing around difficulties. They're apprehensive about pulling resources together, or if they're not apprehensive, they're over idealistic, okay? They're not really looking at the brass tacks of things. They're looking at it through rose-tinted glasses. And, you know, Taurus, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius might also be relevant. But I'm seeing communication troubles because you're not getting, people are not paying attention to what you're saying, or they're just not, they hear you with their ears, but they're not listening with their heart. And it's creating a breakdown of communication, where some people are actually really scattered at this time. Their own energy is scattered, and they don't know if they're coming or going, and they're not focused. So how are they even going to help you get anything focused? It's a collective energy. Let's go on to November. November for Aquarius. Please show me 5-card spread. November for Aquarius. Please show me 5-card spread in November. Aquarius. Okay. You have 7 of Pentacles. So there's been something going on for quite some time coming into November. And I am getting like, what have you invested in for this year? I'm also getting a 7-year time frame of the previous 7 years. What have you invested yourself in? Children may be relevant here. But some of you, it's like you're continuing, you're still investing, you're still working, you're still enduring something, trying to get a return on your investment. And the main issue here, 8 of Chalices, there seems to be something on an emotional level, like you are trying to find your happy place. But in doing so, you're looking at, what do I have to leave behind? Some of you thought, you know, I thought I did everything by the book, but I don't have that 9th cup that would bring me happiness. Something is missing here. What's missing? How do I get there? In the past, 3 of Wands, which is, again, waiting for ships to come in. So in the past, you might have had a more passive role where you're like, I'm waiting for it to come to me. I'm waiting to receive this expansion in my life. Because, you know, I've been investing, I've been putting the work in on this. So where is it? Where's my payoff? You may have been longing for something or preparing for something, looking to the future. But I think some of you right now currently are like, well, it's not here. So do I have to go take a more active role, is really what I'm getting off of this. In the past, you felt, well, I did the work, so it should be coming to me anytime now. Currently, you're like, yeah, it's not here. Do I have to go after it somewhere else? And then in the future, you have the Lover's card, Gemini, lovely. This could be a partnership, and it might have something to do with wow, oh, hold on a second, give me a moment. It might have something to do with Jupiter and Gemini since May 5th of this year and lasting all the way into June 9th of 2025 next year. We'll see about that. What's hinging this all together, there's some kind of miser energy. This is some kind of I'm having to protect and hold on to whatever I have that I own. And this is something very, very meager. Like, I can't really give abundantly to something because I've been waiting and it didn't come in, and now I'm checking my notes and I'm like, yeah, there's something missing here. I guess I got to go after it, but wait a minute, I've got limited resources. So if it's not coming to me and I have to go after it, how do I go after it with limited resources? The outcome, Hierophant. Wow. You need to partner. I'm sorry, but like the month before, it's telling me these people and their partnering is good for nothing. It's dysfunctional. Why is Aquarius showing up with that 8 of Chalices? Some of you are trying to emotionally disconnect from that you were going a certain pathway and you thought that something was going to bring you happiness. You thought it was the way, it was the path, all right, the truth, the life. I don't know why I'm getting that. But you get there and you're like, yeah, this ain't it. But I thought it was it. And so I feel like you're having to kind of shift gears and reprogram yourself that either this isn't it or this isn't the way. And as a fixed sign, you might be having some trouble disconnecting that it's not going to happen like the way that I thought. Okay. Yeah, some of you, I think, were hoping that I'm getting like that gifts would be bestowed upon you, that things would be given, that there would be more generosity, more abundance. And you're wanting to live in more comfort. Okay? You want more comfort, more creature comfort. But whatever you thought was going to get you there did not. Okay? Like for me, you know, how many decades were we brainwashed and told that if we went to college and got a good education, we'd have a good income, a good job, a good career, whatever. It didn't work out like that. And so many people are learning the hard way now. So you're like, well, damn, okay, so I didn't get the good job, but I got over $60,000 in debt. So now what? You gotta find a different path, okay? You're gonna have to find a different way. And y'all were maybe waiting, biding your time, thinking, well, maybe I'll get expansion eventually. Maybe eventually, and there's another ship. Maybe eventually my ships will come in. That I'm going to get some random, unexpected surprise from the universe blessing me. Because after all, I invested in this. I invested in this. So surely there's going to be some righting of the wrongs. There's going to be some reconciliation. But lo and behold, stuck like Chuck, having to reconsider. Why? Because there's that Seven of Swords again next to the Three of Pentacles. Cooperating with people who have had unfair exchanges. It wasn't what you bargained for. Like maybe had you known that was going to be the payoff or the lack of payoff, you would not have invested in that. But out of this stuckness, you get some enlightenment, okay? Yeah, some of you were thinking surely the tides would turn, and now you're realizing I can't keep waiting around. I'm going to have to go do something different. With a Lover's card in the future, tell me about this. Tell me about this. There it is. You have a new beginning. And it might be with a child. It might be someone younger than you that has prominent Gemini placements. But I'm also seeing new beginnings in relationships where you start coming into alliances with people who actually share values and are on the same page about choices and decisions in life. Where'd it go? Yeah, it could be family. It could be one of your children. But I do see this could be... This could be a new beginning with a family member that is a child or grandchild that has experienced some kind of ending. There might have been some type of something grievous that happened within the family, some kind of loss, again, loss of money, loss of resources. This person has gone through serious again, I don't know why I'm getting all over this, like Seven of Swords and now twice and now this, the Thief card. This is, somebody's definitely been pickpocketed in one way or another. There might have been a literal death in the family of a family member. Or this person has gone through the loss of a significant partner. There has been significant loss of money, income. Something was basically stolen from them, whether they recognize it as theft or not. Right? A lot of people, you know, are unhappy about the inflation, but inflation is hidden taxes. And in my book, taxation is theft. So, I mean, it's a general reading. You take it how it applies. I'm seeing a lot of dynamics here, but I do see with this child card, there is potentially a new beginning within a family dynamic where there's been a lot of grief and material loss. Why did I say Grease? Now I'm hearing that movie. Grease is the word. I don't know. Grease soundtrack. I have no clue. You're going to have to go look up those lyrics. Yeah, this is maybe coming into alignment with people, okay? Like something is seriously shifting in terms of maybe a child or a family member starting to align more with your values, choices, decisions. And if it's not a child, this is a new beginning, maybe with your private life, your home life. Four of Pentacles in the foundation, we have a mature woman, changes going on for her, okay? Could be literally menopause, right? Or someone who's menopausal, somebody who's gone through the change. I'm also seeing somebody saving up to make some changes in life, to get some progress, maybe literally moving someplace, involving a woman, maybe, yeah, saving up money so that she can move or make some significant changes and progress with her life. In the outcome, it looks like you have a commitment here. Could be a Taurus is relevant. There we go. Ooh. Wow, wow, wow. This may have to do with a marriage or a commitment or matters of support, but I'm also seeing a possibility that it may have to do with beliefs about something that you had held in high esteem or other people hold in high esteem. But again, there's some kind of deception here going on. I'm going to warn y'all, I am seeing a deceptive energy throughout this reading. It keeps reappearing, and I don't know, because it's a general reading. I don't know if you're not seeing people clearly or they're not seeing you clearly, but there's some kind of deception going on. Some of you, you respect somebody in the spiritual, as a spiritual advisor, maybe a priest, maybe a monk, maybe a rabbi. I fill in the blank. You respect someone, and I think you're going to end up realizing this person is a fraud. Warning. And in the outcome, again, I'm seeing this, you expected a return on this investment. Well, obviously. I mean, why would somebody labor that long and hard for no return? You're waiting on it. I'm seeing, honestly, November looks like a month where I'm hearing weight broke the gate, and it's like you have been waiting. You have been expecting, anticipating, where is it? It's not here. And you begin to realize that you're going to have to take a more active approach in resolving this. You're going to have to partner with someone that actually aligns with your values. And you're going to have to commit to somebody. You might even have to save and be frugal to make these necessary changes in your life. You have to protect yourself as well, because there's something deceptive going on with people. And frankly, it's just society at large right now. A lot of people getting their bubbles busted, like I said, because they're living in fantasy land and they don't want to get out, with Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. So let's go to December. Let's look at December for Aquarius. Please show me December for Aquarius. Please show me December. That wants to come out. Moon in reverse. That is that's you having to confront your fears and your insecurities, okay? This is maybe having to do some shadow work and look at why you're not getting your needs met from certain people. Is it misaligned values? Is it lack of clarity about who people are? Lack of self-awareness, clarity about yourself and what you need. There's something causing them. That wanted to flip too. There it is, Aquarius. That's you. That's soulmates, you know? And at the foundation, there's Libra again with these relationships and karma and having to release people who maybe they were soulmates for a time and a season. Maybe you're in their life to heal them, but are these people draining you because they're not in alignment? They're not cooperating. They're not being honest with themselves and with others about who they are and what they want. They're just wasting your damn time, like these people that I'm talking to that are not listening. Chiron in Aries in the 3rd house. Sorry about that barking. Speaking of, Black Moon Lilith in the opposing house, 9th, right? Alright, let me get this dog to be quiet. Alright, we're back. Yeah, just stop talking to people who are not listening. Stop trying to convince people to cooperate who they're just not there. They've got their own insecurity issues. Queen of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is taking a very practical, down-to-earth approach. And there's Virgo. You might have to go it alone for a time. You might have to get wise counsel. Spend alone time with Spirit to get clear about, you know, the practicalities of, you know, what relationships are workable and which ones are not. Because if you're spinning your wheels with people who are smiling in your face and saying that you're agreed when really you're not, they just turn around and go do something else. It's just not, this is a bad use of that star card, right? We don't want to pour out to those people. We don't want to drain ourselves over those people. It's like these readings I'm doing. I'm only doing requested signs. Why am I going to bother pouring my spirit out to people who are not paying attention and watching these, you know? So if, by the way, if you're like, where's my sign? You didn't do my sign. Well, I asked. And I told you it's by request. But if you were not paying attention and you didn't request your sign, I'm not going to sit here and pour myself out for that. But I will for those who are listening. Okay. Yeah, you're reevaluating. That's at the foundation. You're reevaluating at the end of this year. I mean, it's just so on point, you know. Typically we do that at the end of the year. We think of the year prior and, you know, the wins, the losses, and what do we want to accomplish in the year ahead. So some of you are maybe looking at this could also be, I'm going to say, raising consciousness. I mean, coming into a higher awareness of lessons learned this year is really what I'm getting out of it. Some of you have had some major wake-up calls this year about people, about relationships, misalignments, deception within yourself and others, wishful thinking, not based in reality. It's been sober, and you know, I think it's going to really switch up your game for 2025 is what I'm getting off of that. Main issue, oh my goodness, Tower. What has fallen out by now, you know? In the past, it looks like an Aries may be relevant, or a masculine energy. Could be a boss, a husband, a father figure. We'll find out. In the future, you have a King of Coins, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Again, another masculine energy, What I like is this guy's coming and bringing stability and security. And then what's hinging this all together is this wishful thinking. I mean, you might have some more options opening up by the end of this year. That is possible. Especially with, did I see Jupiter going through? Yeah, Jupiter's in your 5th house. You might have options opening up for you with dating, okay? But just be careful here, because this is this Neptunian nonsense again of, I can't see clearly what's viable. And the outcome, you have a Page of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So somebody makes you an offer, but it looks like it's a small one, okay? It, on the positive, may be something that becomes something more, okay? That it grows into a king. I don't know, but it might actually be some good money news. I like that. Let me clarify. What does this fall out? Some of you might be leaving a location, moving, leaving a location. But again, I'm really going to err on the side of raised awareness, okay? For some of you, it could be a second chance with somebody. But maybe you had a fallout with them. I don't know. Let's find out. You might be just giving up on it. You might be letting something go. I'm getting a lot of let go here, and a sudden awareness, a raised awareness that something is unavoidable. There's something that is unattainable, ultimately. And it is a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and the feminine energy now. This fire sign is showing up like really in their ego. Okay, didn't we get that earlier on? Yes, we did, back in October. Ego is hinging all of that together. And here we go with somebody who's definitely in their ego. It's all about them and what they want. And bad leadership, honestly, okay? And this person might have been in some kind of leadership role in the past with that. That's an Aries or a masculine leader, okay, in the past. But this person is showing up like they're very self-interested. And again, I'm getting problems with listening, communication problems, which I saw in the months prior. And so there's some fallout. And it might have to do with this feminine. It might have to do with getting some kind of growth. I really feel there's a fallout between this feminine and this fire sign. And there's a fallout because I think the masculine is coming across like, I want growth. I want what I want. I'm going back to that 6 of Wands back in October. Me. Oh, I just saw it again. It was flipped in there. And how that came out. I think it was there. Oh, wow, that one's flipped too. What's being given? I thought I saw, there it is as well. Why is this hiding? This is secretly somebody's trying, they want something given to them. Where is it? It's in there. It's the Emperor again. This masculine is like hiding the fact that they want something given to them. They want people to be patient and give to them. And again, they're not listening to intuition. I'm getting this twice. This person might scoff at things of the spirit, spirituality. This person may not listen to spiritual guidance, especially when it comes to moderation, in terms of also being balanced and give and take in a relationship or having emotional balance. They don't listen to the leading of the spirit. They may even just totally be dismissive of anything spiritual because it's all about me, myself, and I, and what I want right now. I want a woman, or I want growth and expansion. I want to be top dog. I want to run this. And some secrets may come out about this person. Let me say that also. This person has some hidden agendas, and that's why I was seeing that hiding. All of that was hiding. They have hidden agendas. This person has lack of spiritual discernment because they probably refuse the things of the spirit. And they, it could be that this comes out, or that secrets need to come out with this person. But I think with that Tower card, they will come out. This has to do with a fire sign, masculine, very strong on the Aries in December. Not a fan. Yeah, this person, unfortunately, in the past, they may have tried to get some kind of progress materially in their life, but sadly, it just didn't go anywhere. It's almost like they were stuck. I mean, I saw some stuck energy for you, but I see stuck energy for them in the past, where the work they did was either ineffective or it was not rewarded, which is kind of sad, because I do feel like this person is showing up with some boss energy. Let me say, if this is not a person, because if you're sitting here saying, I don't have anybody that is like that, that's it. This could be if you run your own business, okay? And if I put it in the context of that, there's some problem with you waiting around on fair exchange, and this is spiritual work that people are just not, they're not giving to it. They're not valuing spiritual guidance or whatever. And again, I'm seeing in the past, if you were in a leadership role, if this is your energy, it's just you did the work, but you were not rewarded. So in the future, it looks like you have a different person showing up for you, an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or if this is like a boss energy, again, it could be that maybe in the past, your line of work, if it was not spiritual, it was like working in marketing and communications and really creative projects and things like that. In the future, if this is a boss or a line of work, you're doing more things that are practical, like have to do with sustaining life, that are the basics. Everybody needs food, right? Everybody needs a place to live, clothing, shelter, things like that, okay? The bare necessities. So some of you, if this has to do with a business, you are maybe looking at finding security and stability in a different line of work, in a different industry. But if this is a person, I'm also seeing that, wow, okay. I do get a lot of worky vibes here, and getting a lot of, yeah, I feel like there is some ending, some closure that maybe you're not even talking to anybody about. because you've got this new opportunity coming in once you close this chapter of your life. And again, it's going back to this that we had at the very beginning in October, where there is some new opportunity coming in for stability and trust. I'm loving this. So honestly, it's like whatever chapter you're closing, when you come into this new beginning, it's been quite the battlefield. But and I don't know, you might be so tired and exhausted, you're not even talking to anybody about closing this chapter. It's just closed, okay? And with that ending, you have a new beginning, and you actually start getting progress, perhaps with a Cancer or a Sagittarius. I do see some holding back, though, in your direction. And in your head, you might, again, not talking, not saying anything, not really opening up about it, but definitely very curious. I just get a lot of reserved. You got an ending, a new beginning, and you are making forward movement, but there's a part of you that is like verbally a bit shut down, or you're feeling fenced in, like you can't say something, or you're exhausted because you've already said enough by now. But you are definitely very into unpacking something, like you're thinking about it, putting a lot of thought into creative ideas, having to do with what you are going to work on. But again, you're either saving up for this type of work, or you're so busy working, you're not really, you're holding back from really sharing much of it with anybody. I just get a lot of, it's like you're with the 4s and the 8s. I'm getting a lot of trying to stabilize to make some changes. And I get a lot of this is on your own. You're in your own might and in your own power. If anything, you might have an earth sign come in and do this. I do see at the foundation, though, there continues to be a lack of clarity and maybe even confusion about your options and what's viable, because again, people have different views about what they want to do. They have different ways of thinking, and it looks like you're not really in agreement. And unfortunately, yeah, it might involve an Aries yet again, or a new path of, well, we're not agreed upon which way to go. We could clean the slate here and we could have a new beginning, but could we get on the same page? And unfortunately, I'm concerned that you are still, by the end of December, dealing with people who are, I'm hearing, cross purposes. And they're really, and I'm getting some kind of flippant about it, like they're not taking it seriously about being intentional and the power of agreement. And it's almost like you're trying to take a leap of faith. You want to start something new, but you cannot get eye to eye with these people. Or if you seem to have some kind of meeting of the minds, there's some different agendas at work where you're not dealing with people who are really looking for a win-win solution. They maybe want to partner with you in some respect because it's what is in it for them. So I do want to caution you about win-lose dynamics, people playing head games or having a sense of entitlement and being super flippant about it. And you've got to see past the illusions, see beyond the veil of what people have going on. in the outcome, like I said, it looks like you do have a new positive offer coming in. And it could be a job offer. Honestly, I'm seeing it from beginning to end. You have opportunities in this 3D. I mean, going back to the very beginning when we talked about this lunar eclipse in September in the second house with Saturn and Neptune. Not a picnic, opposing that 8th house. There will be opportunities. It's just there's some snakes in the grass. I gotta warn you. And I'm not saying that some of these people are intending to be deceptive or malicious. It's just some people with this, collectively, this energy, Neptune and Saturn and Pisces, people are not clear within themselves. Therefore, they can't be clear with you. Uranus and Taurus, collectively, they're unstable, they're insecure. Therefore, they can't be stable and secure with you. And with Chiron and Aries, collectively, we're having to learn to stop personalizing it. Right? I gotta remind myself every day because I'll get pissed off at these people. Damn, I'll get pissed off at them for wasting my time. Don't pour it out to them, Aquarius. Be careful who you're pouring out to. Be discerning. Some people are playing stupid games and they will be winning stupid prizes. Get off that roller coaster ride. Save yourself while you can. There we go. Oh dear. So the good opportunity that is coming in for you, if it's not a good job opportunity or money news, it could be you setting some really solid money goals or career goals, okay? But with it being clarified with the Hangman in reverse, I'm really not a fan. Because yet again, we're getting this issue coming up of somebody has some, they're hanging on to a fantasy. They are getting their time wasted, okay? And you don't want to get martyred by this type of energy. Like, I just want to warn you. Whoever comes in with this opportunity, they're a page. Or the opportunity is at page level. It's not king. And you might see them as a king. You might need them to be a king. But they're a page. And don't ever fool yourself into believing that this isn't what it is. Don't try to make believe it into something else that you need it to be, because you're going to get in trouble with that. Anyone would. And it could leave you stuck. Like, if you think that this is a project relationship, or if you work hard enough, if you really throw your back into it, 8 of Pentacles, you know, that you're going to fix this and you can make this into something more. This is a fixer-upper. I've got this. I can do this. No. Because if you don't stay with the reality of what the offer is here and what realistically can be expected out of it, you're going to get stuck. You're going to get stuck. So I'm getting like it's a stepping stone. I'm getting that it's going to get you to where you want to go. It's not the end all be all that you need it to be. It's like one baby step at a time is what I'm getting out of that. And there you are at the foundation. You are reevaluating a lot about yourself by the end of this year. You are looking at soulmates. You're looking at your ideals, which, you know, that's our gift curse. This idealistic way of thinking, but I think that you are maybe healing, bringing it down to earth, and being more discerning about who you're pouring this out to from a state of raised consciousness. This is very spiritual, by the way. And yeah, there may be some regrets, again, about people that you have partnered with, people who you've collaborated with, and issues with boundaries and karmic lessons having to do with, I needed to have appropriate boundaries with these people because I ended up having to deal with something alone. And it was just me and God at the end of the day. Like, people come and go, but God stays, right? Look at the separation here. And might have actually put you into defensive mode, where you just start pushing people back and say, no, I'm just going to be by myself because I'm tired of people taking and not replenishing. So you come into this state of raised consciousness, and there are probably regrets about people that you've collaborated with. There might even be an apology, some people apologizing to you. I'm hearing, I didn't know what I didn't know. Okay. But it is what it is. And I'm hearing it, that's another thing I'm hearing. It is what it is. We're all learning, and I guess we learn, oh, probably shouldn't have shared resources with this person. Probably shouldn't have overextended, overinvested with this person. We don't have the same values. You know, I didn't see them clearly. They didn't see themselves clearly. We live, we learn. Painful as it is, right? Let's see what the advice is. Oh my. God, I'm going to have to go dig that up. I'll say it. At the foundation, oh, we've got moonlight in reverse. Who had that? I think, was that Pisces? I can't remember. Let's see. All right. Oh, you have encouragement. Haha, there we go. So listen, I know you need hope and encouragement. It has gotten so sober with Saturn putting that squeeze on Neptune and Pisces. And that moonlight card is that's a warning, by the way. But it's very Piscean, very Neptunian. Let's look at what it has to say in reverse. If I can find the book meaning. It means that your intuition will allow you to see beyond the mundane, the logical and analytical. Follow it, right? Sometimes we got to fight with ourselves as air signs to put the heart over the head, and I think that's what this advice is. But yeah, in the reverse, it says, you know, stop overthinking things, which I hate to tell Aquarians, because I hate it when people tell me that as an Aquarian. Like, how are you going to tell an Aquarian to stop overthinking? That's what we do. That's our gift, right? Because there's a bunch of people who don't think, right? And that's a whole nother problem. But anyway, it says you may be exhausted from second guessing yourself all the time and losing your footing. Are you insecure about your ability to make good choices? Step back and regroup and enter into a more trusting relationship with the flow of life. Don't become overly concerned about perceived mistakes. Will you learn to dance? If you don't occasionally take a misstep on the moonlit pathways, you can discover love and truth and wondrous things. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. Go play, have fun, stay open and trust. And hey, with Jupiter in that 5th house, you could definitely do that. That's a good use of the energy. It is supporting you going out and having more of a lighthearted, fun time if you want, okay? But I do want to say with that card as well that about the second guessing, this is something that I'm doing in my healing work with my Chiron return in Aries. You know, in the past, people would, get me to be quiet, make me second guess. Well, I didn't say it the right way, or what did I do wrong, or I should have this, or I should have that. And then you would have valued me. You would have noticed me. You would have paid attention. You would have listened. But as I've gotten older, pushing 50, right? I'm 49. I'm starting to realize that when people really love you, you can say it wrong, and they're going to make an effort to hear what you're really saying and to understand you and to understand your intent. You don't have to have the perfect everything every time. When people love you, you are given an allowance to not get it right all the time, but they see the heart behind what you're saying and doing. And the same with this matter of commitment and partnership. If people really love you, they're going to look for a reason to commit and to love you even harder. But if they've got something within themselves that's not right, their own insecurity, their own instability, you'll never be good enough. There's nothing you can do to overcome and fix that problem within themselves that they're sidestepping. Their own shadow that they're running from, that they're evading. You can't ever be good enough or work hard enough to overcome their issue. So I say, again, be more compassionate with yourself, and stop thinking, again, with all this behavior modification, well, maybe I made a mistake because, if I'd gotten it right, then I would certainly have some carrot stick or cookie at the end of this trail. Where is it? What ain't here? What happened? I must have done something wrong. No, maybe some other people need to get some shit straight. How about that? Okay. And with this encouragement card in the upright, it does say you are receiving a nudge in the right direction. It lets you know that you're being gently encouraged to step into your power, into the dream of your life. New things are out there to be explored. And the nurturing power of the universe is giving you a nudge in the right direction. You will get the help you need and won't be alone in your quest. Every step you take right now is supported by the wisdom of the universe. You are on the right path. Keep going. Yeah. Sometimes doing the right thing is hard and it's not easy. And we're looking for confirmation and affirmation, and it's in short supply these days. But that was it right there. And again, going back to the astrology, where you can really get expansion right now in your life is probably through your children, grandchildren, your creative projects, and maybe going out, having some fun, dating, finding romance. That's very possible. If you want to know more and something very specific to your natal chart, make sure to reach out to me for a private reading. Until next time, wishing you all the best. Be blessed.